Well, here we are. I'm sitting in Capel y Crwys here in Richmond Road, Cardiff. Pretty drab day, raining outside, but it's a warm welcome inside. And I'm sitting with Thomas Williams. So Thomas, I wonder if you would just introduce yourself, what your role is here in this church.
It's a new role, a pioneering ministry as part of the denomination's drive to find a way of finding the future leaders when the theological college is closing or have closed. And I've been a member here for many, many years and rose through the ranks. And I thought I was ready to try this new role. And I'm enjoying it immensely. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds really interesting, Thomas. I mean, I've come across that kind of, I suppose you can call it a model, but I mean, in newer churches, particularly in England, I've come across lots of churches where the leader, as they're often called, has been a member and then they're recognised. And not so much in Wales, I think it's a much more traditional approach in the past. You know, some would go to college and then they'd move around a bit and go to various churches. This seems different to me.
I think it's good that the denomination is thinking in these terms, because we've got to find who are going to lead the churches in this age of people finding God, but not necessarily finding God early in their life and maybe latterly in their lives, and feeling that this is a means by which they can express that faith in a way and also be of service. I think as you get older, you learn a few things, and hopefully I'm a bit wiser than I was when I was younger. But I think it's important to try and find the future talent within this situation in a very different situation to what it was at the beginning of the 20th century. And during the 20th century, we're dealing with a very different time, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, part of your role here, I think, Thomas, is it's a pioneering role. It's to do new things, which sounds very exciting. But this Crwys, the Capel y Crwys or Eglwys y Crwys, has got a long history. Famous ministers, lots of members, a big kind of burgeoning congregation at one point. Are you aware of that? You know, as you
I think
here?
as you walk around and see the various plaques on the walls, you realise how such an important place this was, and so important for so many families. Certainly in terms of the membership, it's still strong, but used to be in the 80s a very, very strong chapel in terms of numbers. And what was amazing about it was the fact that it brought from people from all walks of life, professional people, people in government, judges, solicitors, and also teachers, of course, but also students. It was very much a good way of maintaining Welsh in quite an English city, in terms of its language, I mean. And then the funny thing was whilst the service would be conducted through the medium of Welsh, and all discussions within the chapel, at the minute that they walked out, many would turn to English to discuss things such as business or making arrangements to meet up or things like that. So that has changed a lot since then, because our attitude towards the language has changed as well.
I mean, that's something we could talk about a little bit, Thomas. I mean, the Cardiff's Welsh identity has, in my lifetime, has been transformed, really. You know, 20, 30 years ago, you rarely heard Welsh spoken anywhere.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Now it's fairly common.
Yes.
As a first language, lots of learners. And what's the missional challenge, do you think, for a Crwys, for this church and others like it, trying to bridge that gap somehow to this new generation of Welsh speakers?
As you probably have noticed, there's been a mushrooming, there's been an explosion of activities through the medium of Welsh, which creates a benefit and also a problem for places such as Crwys. In the past, the chapel would have been seen as a place you would go as Welsh speakers in order to preserve the language when maybe schooling wasn't through the medium of Welsh. But now we are, in fact, as the French would say, an embarras de choix, that we are embarrassed by the amount of choices that are, which is good in terms of the culture, but at the same time trying to present the Lord's word in that context is a challenge.
So Thomas, it's a pioneering ministry or pioneering role you have here. So what does being a pioneer mean in a well-established, well-speaking church in Cardiff?
Yeah. The word pioneer does frighten me because it gives the impression of an adventuring person forging a way forward. But at the same time, it gives me a lot of discretion in terms of what I'm finding as a means by which the community here can reach out a bit more. And I think what I've realised, and being a parent, I see our children being affected by social media in a good and a bad way. It's a good way of keeping in touch with people, but at the same time, in terms of the influences, it can be quite negative. So I see part of our role is to, reach out to the community, but also to provide a digital ministry as well through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, even x.com as well. Because we've reached a point now, out of interest, although our membership is strong in comparison to other churches, our following on social media is greater than our actual membership in terms of statistically. Yeah. And the other thing that I find very interesting, and in terms of my pioneering role, is how do we make ourselves relevant in the 21st century? We're fortunate in this chapel not just to be open on a Sunday, but there is something happening almost every single day in this building. And we're fortunate to have people like the Living Room, which is an organisation aimed at supporting people going through addiction challenges. And also people, there's Cynnal as well, which helps people within the clergy and within ministry to find a voice, a therapy, because it can be a lonely business leading a church, and they provide counselling these people. The other thing that I'm finding very exciting is the amount of choirs that ask us to be able to practice here, and that gives us a direct link to the young people and students especially, which I greatly enjoy, and we love to work with them collaboratively and providing a space, and I think the feeling is mutual. Yeah.
So the building where we are now, it's a large building, and it's very much part of the missional future. It's not just a burden you have to carry.
Yes.
It's got something to offer. And you've got I know there's a theatre which is part of this building. You've got I think a digital studio.
Yes.
You've got pretty state-of-the-art equipment here. So how does that all fit in?
Well, you mentioned the pioneering aspect of this, but I keep looking back because I'm quite new to Crwys since the early noughties. If you look back to the 80s, they had this vision in that time to move from an old building to a modern building, which is this. And they brought in architects, and they created something out of a very simple building. They added a roof, a glass front, so it looks visually very modern here. And they had the vision also to build a theatre at the back, and there's a car park and everything. So we are very much indebted to the people of the past who are pioneering and created this building. It's the legacy that we have to pass on to the next generation is to try and add the 21st century into that legacy, in effect. And I find that very exciting. The challenges obviously, because any work that's done on a building is very costly these days. But I think there is the appetite to change in line with the modern society we're living in.
Well, Thomas, you spoke a little bit about the studio, which sounds highly interesting. So could you tell us what that is?
Yes. Well, we started with a mixing desk and some cameras in order to stream live on Zoom, YouTube. But we also felt that we could develop that idea, because what we are finding is that the digital audience is increasing, but not necessarily sometimes we're providing the content that is going to help people to learn about the Lord for the future. So we've been given a grant in order to again create maybe creative things to do with conveying this message in a way that is meaningful to the young, by inviting younger members and also from people from local schools as well to feel that they can partake and participate in this, because it'd be interesting getting the young and the young people's ideas how to convey what is an eternal message or an old message in a way that is modern and resonates with them. So that's very exciting, and that's only just happened. So we're starting on that now.
Yeah. You know as well as I do that there are so many reports that are being published at the moment, statistics about decline, particularly, it has to be said, amongst Welsh medium chapels and churches. And the forecasts are not altogether friendly over the next 10, 20 years. So with that in mind, and in fact the Presbyterian Church of Wales is also in the restructuring programme, partly driven by having to change rapidly to kind of position ourselves for the next 10, 20 years. How do you see that panning out for a church like this one?
I think we've got to recognise that we need to change, and how we deliver what is an amazing message to the next generation, and we should be really focused on the next generation as well. Naturally, my focus is 1 foot in terms of traditional ministry, if you'd like, but also in this pioneering ministry, and we've got to recognise that membership of a particular church is not something that's going to be static. Membership can take many forms, and some people can come in for 5 minutes, but we might not see them for another few years. But I think we've got to see the building of a relationship. Somebody once said to me, to be relevant, you've got to relate to people. And the more conversations we have with our audience, the better. And establishing the reasons why maybe that they don't find traditional worship attractive for them. So I think it's been very focused on that and not losing heart. I think that's the key. I think optimism is so important, because there's been peaks and troughs in terms of the history of the church, especially the early church. There were huge challenges, yet they managed it. I think we need to be braver, and we need to go to areas or territories, shall we say, in every sense of the word, that we haven't been to before.
And in the light of that, where you're situated at the moment, where we are sitting, is within a few yards away, a few meters away. Maybe not every nation under the earth is represented here, but there are an awful lot of languages, awful lot of cultures. There is a couple of mosques nearby, for example. So there's that sort of challenge is present, isn't it?
It
and
is.
The opportunities are present.
It is. Albeit I've only been a member since the noughties, I've seen a huge change in this area of Cardiff. And what I feel is that the more I can be seen around the building, the more I can have the conversations. I'm getting to know the neighbours very well. And that I find is lovely. And I think we've got a bus stop in front of our main entrance here. And I have some amazing conversations with people saying, oh, what goes on here? Because obviously our signage is in Welsh. And therefore they don't quite understand. They see the crosses and things like that, and they know it's a kind of church, but that is a wonderful thing, is to have those conversations with people. But I think the challenge is to go the extra mile and reach out to the community. I'm often seen picking up a lot of litter, and because we're in a student area, and there are challenges when it comes to recycling.
There are lots of takeaways around here as well.
They are. And so I spend quite a bit of time picking up the odd thing, just to try and make the building as presentable as possible. And in a funny kind of way, people thank me for doing that, but also it's a way of having a conversation with people. And I think it's important that we give the impression that we're a friendly bunch, and this is a safe environment for all people on life's journey.
Thank you.